Human life begins with a remarkable microscopic event known as fertilization. Inside the female reproductive system, one of the ovaries releases a mature egg during ovulation. This tiny cell enters the fallopian tube guided by delicate finger-like structures called fimbriae. At the same time, millions of sperm cells travel through the reproductive tract, each carrying genetic information from the father. Using their tails, these microscopic swimmers move forward through a complex environment toward the egg. Although millions begin the journey, only a small number reach the fallopian tube, and eventually one sperm succeeds in penetrating the egg's protective outer layer. Immediately afterward, the egg changes to prevent any other sperm from entering. The genetic material from the sperm and egg then combines, forming a new single cell called a zygote. This cell contains a complete set of DNA that will guide the development of a new human being. Soon after fertilization, the zygote begins dividing through mitosis. One cell becomes 2, then 4, then 8, multiplying while slowly traveling toward the uterus. As the cells increase, they form a compact cluster called a morula. Soon, fluid begins to fill the structure, creating a hollow sphere known as a blastocyst. Within this tiny sphere, a group of inner cells will develop into the embryo, while the outer cells help form supportive structures needed for pregnancy. After several days, the blastocyst reaches the uterus, where the inner lining has thickened in preparation for implantation. The blastocyst attaches to this nutrient-rich lining in a process called implantation. During this stage, connections begin forming with the mother's blood supply so that oxygen and nutrients can reach the growing embryo while waste products are removed. A protective fluid-filled membrane called the amniotic sac soon forms around the embryo, creating a stable environment. At the same time, the placenta develops as a specialized organ that supports the baby throughout pregnancy. Through the umbilical cord, the placenta delivers oxygen and nutrients from the mother while removing carbon dioxide and other waste from the developing baby. By the 4th week of development, the embryo begins forming the foundations of the body's major systems. The neural tube develops and will eventually become the brain and spinal cord. Soon afterward, a tiny heart begins beating and circulating blood. Small limb buds appear where arms and legs will grow, and early facial features begin to form. Although still extremely small, the embryo is rapidly organizing the structures needed for life. By about 8 weeks of development, most basic body structures have appeared, and the developing baby is now called a fetus. During the fetal stage, growth continues quickly while organs mature and become more functional. The brain becomes more complex, bones gradually strengthen, and muscles develop. The fetus begins making gentle movements within the amniotic fluid. As development continues through the 2nd trimester, the baby's appearance becomes more recognizable. Fingers and toes are clearly formed, eyelids develop, and the ears move into their proper position. The placenta continues acting as the baby's lifeline, providing the oxygen and nutrients necessary for growth. In the following months, the lungs continue maturing in preparation for breathing after birth, and the nervous system becomes more advanced. The fetus can respond to sound and movement, and its muscles grow stronger. Layers of fat gradually form beneath the skin, helping regulate body temperature after birth. The baby often moves and changes position within the uterus while floating in the amniotic fluid. As the final weeks approach, most babies move into a head-down position in preparation for delivery. By around 37 to 40 weeks, the baby is considered full-term and ready to live outside the womb. Eventually, hormonal signals trigger the beginning of labor. The muscles of the uterus begin contracting in steady waves that gradually open the cervix. These contractions guide the baby downward through the birth passage. As labor continues, the baby moves through the final stage of delivery and is born into the outside world. Although still connected to the mother through the umbilical cord, the newborn soon takes its first breath, filling the lungs with air for the very first time. The umbilical cord is then clamped and cut, marking the baby's transition